Right. Okay, now in this question, like you need to get the user input, that means username and the password. And then if the username and password matches with any of these two, like now here we have given two set of logins, and then you need to say welcome, or yeah, welcome, whatever the logged in username, whatever the correctly entered credentials username. Right now, this is a code sent by one of you. You get the right now. Do we need to convert this into a string? Do we need to convert into a string? Because by default, I think it comes, the input method takes as a string value. Therefore, what is the purpose of this? Anyone? Yeah. Why do we need to convert it to a string? Is there a requirement?
No, sir.
Nirod, any requirement?
No, sir. I forgot that it's have a string.
Right. Okay. You get the username and you get the password. If username is equals admin and password is equals to abc123, print welcome admin, else if, right now, else if we could say elif, un equals John and password equals Smith123, print welcome. Now we can say welcome and then we can say username. Oh, right. Okay, let's see. Then invalid, login, invalid, needed. Right. Okay, let's save this. The desktop ex.py. Username admin, password abc1, abc1. Welcome admin, if it is admin, invalid credentials. Right. If it is John and Smith123, 1, 2, 3, 4, invalid credentials. Welcome, John. Right. Now, okay, do we really need these two else if conditions? Or can you do it using only one if condition in this scenario? Rather having like having two conditions here. But yeah, this one would be very helpful. Why? If this is correct, then it won't check this side. If this is correct, if this one is correct, then it won't check these conditions. Right. But some may have done this, right, using a one if condition as well. But in that scenario, then all the conditions will be evaluated. Right. Okay, good. Now, any questions from this? Any questions on this? No? Everyone good?
No, sir.
Yes, Binidu. Any question?
No, sir.
I can't hear you. No. Why is it? Did you talk? Can someone please talk? Hello? Can you hear me? Nirodha, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right, I can barely hear you. Right, okay. Right, then I hope you can hear me. Then, if not, you should have tell me. Right. Now we have discussed about the conditions last time. Now we are going to talk about the. Right now we have done already variable types we have discussed, and then we have discussed about the yes if conditions and else. Then we have to talk about the while loop, right, and the for loop. Right now, if the same task has to be done repeated, if the same thing if you want to do repeatedly or something similar if you have to do repeatedly, you could use a loop. Right now, there are two looping constructs available in Python. Those you call as while loops and the for loops. Now, those two you call as the two primitive loop commands. In the while loop, now there are two looping constructs, while loop and for loop. The while loop we can use until a particular condition becoming, for as long as condition is true, the while loop will get executed. Right now, for an example, now let me show you. If I have while inside these brackets, okay, no brackets, but if it is true, now this will be infinite loop because this is going to print infinitely because this won't become false. Let's say this is going to print high and let's say I is equal 0 and I plus equals 1, I and I. Right. Now you can say here the true or the text, the way I have used true is wrong. Then in Python, how to type true? Is it is it simple T, or if it is wrong, then how can I write true? Now here in the error also it says the name true is not defined. Did you mean true? Now that means capital TR. Right. Now you can see this is going to be infinite loop because the loop, the condition is true. I have mentioned it as true. Therefore, this will be run infinitely. This will never ending loop. This won't stop and this will run infinitely. Now you can see this has run more than 230,000 times now. See? Right now, in order to stop in such situation, you can press Control C. Right. If the condition is false, if the condition is false, right now this will never run. This will never run. Because the loop, the body statements will not get executed if the condition is false. Right. Now, if you want to print 1 to 10 numbers, let's say high for 10 times, what you could do is, let's say I is equal 0, then you can say I less than 10. I less than 10, and you can do it like this. Then you can see I less than 10. If I is equal 0 at the beginning, then I get increased by 1 and it is by high 1, high 2, high 3, likewise, and then high 10. because I value is 0, no 0 less than 10 true, 1 less than 10, 9 less than 10 true, 10 less than 2 become 10 less than 10 become false. That is how it becomes false. Right now here, this is how you use the while loop to print something right now. Basically, this is what happens right now. Right now, here it checks the condition. Here it checks the condition. The condition is I less than 10. If it is true, it performs set of activities. It prints whatever the values you want to print. And again, it comes back to the beginning. And if it is false, it stops. Right now, if the condition is true, it perform it and it again come back. If the condition is true, it perform the operations and again it come back. Iteratively it will happen until the condition become false. Right. Therefore now, in the while loop, now we could use the while loop for, now we know to repeat the same task or similar task continuously. Right. Now, if I want to print 1 to 10 numbers, how can I do 1 to 100 numbers? How can I do that? Right now, 1 to 100 numbers you want to print. Then I equals 0, then you can say I less than 100. And if you want to print from the 0, then if you want to print from the 0, then you can display I value. Then you can increase I equals I plus 1. Right. Now you can see it starts from 0. Now it goes up to 99 because now here if it is only up to 10, let's say what happens here? When you start from 0 less than 10, now actually what is happening here is, now initially 0 less than 10, that is true. Then 1 less than 10, that is true. 2 less than 10, that is true. Okay, I think it's easier rather than typing. Now 0 less than 10 true, 1 less than 10, 2 less than 10, 3 less than 10, 4 less than 10, 5 less than 10. Right, now here we have I value less than 10. Initially, I value is equal to 0. Now, therefore, I value is equal to 0. I value is equals to 0. Now, therefore, what happens? Initially, it checks while loop. I 0 less than 10. True. Therefore, what happens? It's going to print I value. It's going to print 1. That means it's going to display 0 less than 10. 0. I value is 0. It's going to print 0. And then I value increase by 1. Then I become 0 plus 1, 1. And then 1 less than 10. True. Therefore, it can print the I value 1 and I value get increased by I value plus equals 1. Right now here it become 1 and then here it become 2. And when I value is equals to 2 less than 10. True. Then it's going to print 2 and increase by 1, 3. And when I equals 3, 3 less than 10. True. Therefore, it's going to print 3 and increase by 1. When I equals 4, it's going to print 4 and increase by 1, 5. And when it equals 5, it's going to print 5, it's going to increase by 1. Then 6 less than 10 true, then it can print 6, increase by 1. And when it is 7, 7 less than 10, true, therefore it's going to print 7, increase by 1. And now I equals 8, therefore 8 less than 10, true, and increase by 1. 9, 9 less than 10, true, therefore it's going to print 9, increase by 1, 10. Now 10 less than 10 is false, therefore the condition stops. The false, therefore the while loop stops. Therefore, this is how the while loop is working here. Right, now if you change, now I equals I plus 1. Now rather using I equals I plus 1, if you change it to I equals I plus 2, now every time I value get increased by 2. Now you can say initially 0, then I get increased by, now I get increased by 2. Now I get increased by 2. Now this time I equals I plus 2. Then initially it is 0. Therefore now it becomes 2. Then 2 less than 10, true. Therefore it will print 2. And then I get increased by 1, that is 4. Then 4 less than 10, true. Then it will print 4 and then increase by 2. Then that becomes 6. Then 6 less than 10, true. Therefore it will print 6 and increase by 2. Then that becomes 8. Then 8 less than 10, true. Then it's going to display 8 and increase by 2, that becomes 10. Then 10 less than 10 become false. Now this is how the loop works. Is that clear? Therefore, remember, normally while loops, we use the while loops for if we want to run unknown number of times, as long as the condition is true. And if you want to run, if the number of time is not fixed, if you have no idea that how many times this has to run, we use the while loops. Normally, the while loop repeats that unknown number of times until the condition is until condition become false. That means the while loop runs unknown number of times until the condition become false. But the other hand, the for loops run for the fixed number of times. We define the number of times. Now, in this scenario, we have defined that now the while loop also runs 10, like now I equals 0, I less than 10. Therefore, in this scenario, you can say while loop can run only even without checking the body statements. You can say this loop will run only for up to 10 times. Therefore, the while loop repeats right now here until the condition becomes false. Therefore, normally we use the while loop when you have no idea that how many times you want to run the loop. If you have no idea that how many times the loop has to run, then you can use the while loop. Therefore, while loop first check the condition. It check the condition first, and if the condition is true, then it execute the body state. Therefore, remember the loop will stop once the condition become false. Let's say now, for an example, right now, here I'm gonna ask user to right now I'm gonna ask user to enter a number. Number. While okay, I'm gonna ask user to okay the number. We have a number which is 1, let's say, and I'm gonna say number not equals 0. Then I'm asking you to enter a number. And then I'm gonna get the input. Number equals int, because input takes as a string. No? Okay, we can ask here, right? Right. Now if you run, now what it says, unterminated string literal, unterminated string literal, yes. Let's say as long as I enter a number, this will run. If I enter 0, this will stop, because you don't know that now. How many times user will enter the numbers until user enters 0, we don't know. You can repeatedly run this. What happens? You can infinitely run this one until user enter 0. Until user enter 0, this will run infinitely. The loop will never get stopped until user enter 0. Once the user enters 0, the program will stop. Therefore, this you can use while loop can use to when you have no idea that how many times the loop has to run. When you have no idea that how many times the loop has to run. When you have no clue that how many times the loop has to run, you can use the while loop. Right. Right. Now, even if it is a while loop, right now, for an example, we discussed that if you use a loop, true, that means this will run infinite. Right now, I'm going to, let's say, I is equals to I plus C equals 1. And if I want, I can check if I is equals to, I'm going to use if I condition, if I equals to 5, or if I is, okay. Then you can check if the number is equals to, if the number, same thing, if the number is equals to 0, if the number is equals to 0, you can print the number here. If the number is equals to 0, you can say break. You can say break. Right now, this will run infinitely as long as you enter 0, it will stop. Right now, the same thing, now rather writing step, what I did was, now the same loop, right? See? Now the same thing, I did it here. Now without this. Now here what I did, now here I am saying run the loop infinite. Run the loop infinite. Now here I am mentioning run the loop infinitely, and then here I am using if condition inside the body. If the number is equal to 0, break. A break statement will immediately exit from the loop. If there's a break statement, break keyword, it will exit from the loop. Here that therefore it will stop the loop. But here the loop become here the loop exit due to this break keyword. But here the condition will never become false. But now here, if the condition become false when number is equal to 0, then the loop get stopped because condition become false. Right.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, when we use the break statement, what does it stop, sir? Like
immediate
the
loop. It will
yeah,
exit from the immediate loop.
So does that mean the code get discontinued or something?
The break. What will happen? The break statement is when the break statement get executed, it will exit from the immediate loop. Now here there's a loop, no while loop. Therefore, it will exit from the loop. The loop will get stopped. Thereafter, here it will start from here. But if you have code here, let's say if you have end of the loop or something, then it will come here. Therefore, here even though if you put something here, if the condition become false, then even if it is false here, now it will never get executed. No, therefore, it comes to here. Now simply it will exit from, it will skip these lines. That's what happens. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to know about how the flowcharts works, right now, if you have learned about the flowcharts previously, do I can draw it? Yes. We have this, and what are the body statements we have? Yes, that's it. And yeah, it comes here. If it is true, it goes here. If it is false, here the condition. Here you have the condition, and here you have the body statements. Body statements, and if it is true, and if it is false. Right. And then here the loop terminates. Loop terminates, and then here enters the loop. And here you can say the loop continues. Continues. Here this arrow means the loop continues. Here, this is how you could use a flowchart to understand the loop. Right. Now, if I want to write a program that say get the sum of first 10 numbers, okay, if I want to write get the sum of first 10 numbers, right? If I want to write get the sum of first 10 numbers from 1 to 10 numbers, let's say now I'm going to start number is equals 1, then I less than, since it's starting from 1, I less than 11 icons. I less than or equals to 10 I can say. I'm going to get the sum is equals to, here you can have variable called sum is equals 0. And then you can say sum equals sum plus number. Sum equals sum plus number. And then at the end you could say the total is comma is missing. Right now, here you can see I don't see the output. See, I don't see the output. But now the program, it seems the program is running. It doesn't display anything, but the cursor blinks. That means the program is running. No? Can anyone tell me why this happens? What could be the reason? Think and tell me quickly. Yes, anyone? What do you think? Why? The sum part is missing here. What is it? Right, now if you can't see this, let me print the number variable. Yes, now you should be able to think. Yes, why? Okay, tell me quickly. Why this happens right now? What is missing here? Some part is missing, but you can see the number variable value is 1. But what we need to do and why it is not working? Anyone? Because why the number variable is not increased? The number variable is not increased. Nothing is happening. The number variable is always 1. That's why this runs infinitely. Now, I think this may have run a million times. Now, why is this? Because the number variable is not increasing here. Therefore, if you want, you can say number equals number plus 1. See? Number equals number plus a number variable is not getting increased. Now what happens right now? There's another case. Why is this? Now see, it is increasing. Tell me the answer quickly now. See, it has run now 150,000 more. Why? Now what's wrong here? Anyone? Nirodha, what is wrong here?
Condition I said
You don't check the condition you are checking is always true. 1 is less than 10, always. 1 is less than or equals 10 is always true. That is wrong, right? Yes, that has to be number. Right, let's stop this and then let's run it. Now you can see it's Now it's correct. Why? The number variable is 1, some variable is 0, then while loop checks whether the number variable value is less than or equals to 10. And each time the loop runs, the number variable get increased by 1 and the value of the number variable get added to the sum variable. And then you just print the number variable, and at the end, you print the total value. Right, okay, write a program to take 10 inputs from the user and get the total. Quickly do it. 10 inputs from the user and get the total. And also you need, okay, first do that. 10 inputs from the user and display the total. Okay, quickly do it and send me the answers via chat. Quickly. Right, then 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. Okay, what is this? 2036. I think there's something also wrong here. Can someone tell me what's wrong here? Yes, why have you deleted the answer? Oh, he may have left the
So there is a plus equal
Toyota
and another plus.
Toyota plus equals wrong. Yes. Right now this works. Okay, from here I want to display the maximum value as well. Okay, user can enter any 10 numbers, no? Okay, edit this code to display the maximum number. 1 minute. Edit the code to display the maximum number as well. Send me the answer quickly. Now it's simple, right? Now inside the here you need to have if conditions to find the max. Because there's something wrong in the code. Because like now here you can see the maximum number I have entered 9. And now it says max number is 0. Right, then there's something wrong. Fix this and tell me how to fix this. Right, okay, let's see. What was the fix, Bashit?
So I fixed that max is equals num to max
This
equals
one?
num. Yeah.
Right. See, my bad. Right, max number is 9. Right. Okay, now here I want to get only 10 even numbers. Edit the code to get only 10 even numbers from the user. As long as user enters 10 even numbers, you need to keep on asking user to enter number like 10 even numbers. Right? Get 10 even numbers stored and then display the max as well. And this time min as well. You have to get 10 even numbers, display the total, the maximum value, and the minimum value. And also the number of inputs given. The number of inputs given also I want. Try. 10 only even 10 even numbers you need to get the total. Then display the maximum value from that, minimum value, and the number of inputs given. Okay, let's see. Okay, three of you have sent me the answers. Let's see. I equals 0, no, number of integers, and then you get the input and total equals total number of, right? Number of integers. Okay, now the number of inputs given is, right now, I think the logic is not that what I'm expecting here. For an example, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right now, I want to get only now. Okay, you have to edit the code. I want only 10 get the sum of 10 even numbers. Then display the max, display the max, min, the maximum value, and the minimum value, and the number of inputs. the max of number of inputs. That means even if you enter odd number, which is the maximum, that has to be the maximum value. The minimum value, maximum value, and the number of inputs you have entered. But you need to count only the sum of 10 even numbers. Okay, edit the code quickly. Now it takes too much time, no? Why? Right, how can you change this? It's very easy, no? One. Now what I want you to do is, so you have to get the max, let's say, and the min. Okay, no worries. And the number of integers, let's say count. Then it's easy, right? Okay, then we need to get I less than 10. Fine. Input number, like you ask user to enter a number, and then you check whether the user has entered a number which is an even. If it is an even, right now, now let's say we want to have a count of 10 number. Okay, I means, right now, even number count, no? I means the even count. E count, let's say. Then instead of I, we will have it as even count. If the number modulus 2 is equals, now total equals total plus number and number of integers. That means even number count has to get increased by 1. And each time you get an input, then we need to increase the count variable, count plus equals 1. And then you can check whether if the number is greater than the max equals the number. And if the minimum, if the number is less than the minimum, minimum is the number, and you don't need this, then you can display the total, max number, and the minimum number, and number of even, the sum of, you can say, sum of, okay, sum value, number of inputs, count, number of inputs. Now, I guess sum is 354, max number is 155, the minimum number is given minus 23, and number of inputs is this. Right. Likewise, you should be able to get this thing done. Right. Okay. Try to do this. If you have any issues, please ask. Okay, right now, complete these two questions. You need to ask you to enter a number until you enter a negative number. At the end, you need to print the sum of the all entered numbers. And then second one, you need to display this Fahrenheit and Celsius table. Fahrenheit value should change from 0, 5, 10, likewise up to 100, and then respective Celsius value should be displayed. Okay, quickly do these two. And print the multiplication table of given number. Right, these three questions. You have to ask user enter number, and then you have to print the multiplication table. Okay, quickly do it and send me the answers via chat. Okay, this is how you get the sum of inputs until you enter a negative number. Right, good. The second one answer, send me quickly. And if it is difficult for you, like try to do with this multiplication table, and thereafter you can go to this. Multiplication table. Let's say now you'll ask user to enter the number. And then while I equals 0, and I less than equals to 15, let's say, you can easily print. Print the number multiplied by I number multiplied by I. You can easily do that to print the multiplication table. Right. Then this is how we print the multiplication table. Then the last question is reverse number. Reverse the number using. Now, for an example, if you again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you need to display like as a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 using a while loop. Right. Now these two I want you to do. And this one also displaying the Fahrenheit value. And now you can have a while loop. You can have while loop while I less than or equals to 100. I less than or equals to 100. It's very easy. I have given you what Fahrenheit values also. Right. Then is it 31 or 32? I can't remember. The Fahrenheit and Celsius. I think it's 32, no? 32. Anyway, right, then you can do it like f minus 32, f minus 32 multiplied by 5 divided by 9 equals 6. Right, then what you have to do, while okay, f less than or equals to 100, c equals f minus 32 into 5 divided by 9. Then print uh, now what does this say? Here. Right now, f is not defined here. Yes, at this point, f is not defined. Right now, then let's remove one tab space. And how can we make up to 2 decimal points now? The next thing, can anyone tell me how to limit to 2 decimal points? How can I do that? Right now, okay, don't worry about that, how to get the no, a 2 decimal points thing. We'll discuss that later on. There are different ways of doing it. Either you can use the print formatting function. Right, if you want, you could do it like Right, okay, now try out the third one. The village. Right, if you want, you can go up to 100. Let's say the difference we'll have by 10 by 10 up to 300 to make sure this is correct. Now, when this is how you should be able to see. Right, this one also done. Now, reverse a number. You have to ask you to enter a number and then the reverse the number. Okay, quickly do it. Have you done that as well?
Okay.
No. Right,
No.
okay, quickly do it. It's not that difficult. We'll see. We'll ask you to enter a number. Right, done. And the reverse number also we'll say 0. Then the number is not equals to 0. Temporary number is equal. Last number we can get by modulus it by 10. Now this is going to be the last number. Then the reverse number we can get. Whatever the reverse number we have, multiplied by 10 plus temp. 0 plus 10 will become 5, 5 to 10, 50, then 54. Right, likewise. And then the number is equals to number divided by 10. Then the decimal values won't come because we are using the floor division. Print the number reverse. Yes. Right.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can you explain how you got the reverse?
Yeah.
How did
Okay.
you
Now,
reverse the number?
right. Now, let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say we take a 4-digit number. When you get the modulus of this number, what is it? Modulus 10 is what? This modulus 10 gives you what? 1, 2, 3, 4 modulus 10. What is it? We have 4-digit number 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna modulus by 10. What is the remaining? What is the answer? What is the answer? Bashit, yes. What is the answer? Modulus 10 means what? When you divide by 10, what is the remaining value? What is the remaining value?
4, sir, right?
4. Yes, the remaining value is 4. Now here, the t value becomes 4. Right? And then initially, reverse number is 0. No? Then initially, I'm going to multiply 0 by 10. That becomes 0 plus 4. Now the answer becomes 4. Right? And then n value, previously number was 1, 2, 3, 4. No? Now 1, 2, 3, 4. Floor division by 10. What is the answer? Floor division. When you divide
123, sir.
1234 by 10. Sorry?
123.
123. Now again, the loop runs for the second time. Right? Now again, 123 modulus 10. What is the answer?
3, sir.
3. Again, what I'm going to do is, whatever the value in the reverse value, now reverse variable REV equals 4 into 10, 4 into 10 plus temporary value, which is 3. 4 into 10 is 40, 40 plus 3 is 43. Right? Right. Now the n value is what? Now n value is 1, 2, 3. Right. Now t equals 0. Again it continues. T. T means, right now, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 modulus 10. Sorry, like now n equals n divided by 2. No? Now what is the n value now? 1, 2, 3, that 123 modulus by, floor division by 10. What is it?
12, sir.
123, 12. Yes. Then n equals 12. Then this modulus 10. 12 modulus 10. Remaining value is 2. Then 2, like reverse value contain 43. Then 43 multiplied by 10 plus 2. 43 multiplied by 10 is 430 plus 2 is 432. Right. And again, n value is 12. 12 floor division by 10. Then n become 1. Then 1 modulus 10. 1 modulus 10 remainder is 1. Then 432 multiplied by 10 plus 1 become 4,321. And 1 floor division 10 become 0. Then n become 0. Then 0 not equals 0. This become false and then it stops. Then you get the reverse number like this. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. Right. Okay, try out quickly then if you have not done it yet. Right. And then we discussed that what happens when a break statement hits. When a break statement hits, the loop exits. Even the condition is true, the loop exits. Right. Now, like similarly, now let's see another one. What happens when the continue statement hits? Right now, You know, when the if inside a while loop, if a break state inside a loop, if the break statement get executed, the loop will stop. And inside a loop, while let's say I is equals to 0, then while I less than 10, let's say, or 50, if I modulus 2 equals 0, if I modulus 2 equals 0, I'm gonna say continue. Otherwise, I'm gonna print the I value. And I value should increase by 1 at the beginning. I plus equals. Right. Okay, now run this and tell me what is happening here. What the continue keyword does. Try out, run this and tell me what is happening over there. Right, I'll give you 2 minutes. Right now here, what is happening here? If you run this code,
So it omits all the even numbers.
right now in my case, okay, let's see. Okay, right. Now it displays all the odd numbers. Right now, what is happening there? Why only the odd numbers, not the even numbers? Why? Okay, I have put a continuous statement inside. If what it checks, if I modulus 2 equals 0, then it checks for what? If it is an even number, it continues. Therefore, remember, therefore, if it is a break, you have to remember very like this is very important. If you inside a loop, if you hit a break statement, it will exit from the loop or stop the loop. Exit from the loop. Exit from the loop. Right. If you hit a continue statement, if you hit a continue keyword, it will stop the, it will ignore or stop the current iteration, and it will stop the current iteration and move or continue with the next, go to the next. What happens now? I equals 0. I equals 0. Then here I equals, starting from I is equals 0. Then I become, inside the loop, I become 1. Then it is 1, I become 1. Then 1 modulus 2 not equals 0. Therefore, if condition not can executed, it can display 1. Then I become 2. 2 modulus 2 is equal 0. Then 2 modulus 2 is equal 0. Therefore, it can hit the continue. Therefore, skipping this part, it goes back to the beginning. Then I become 3. Likewise, it continues. Therefore, remember, the continue keyword stop the current iteration. Now, once it hit the continue, therefore, rest of the statements in the current iteration will get ignored or skipped and move to the next iteration. Now, that's what happens with the continue keyword. If now, for an example, let's say, now we know to clearly understand this. Up to 10, let's say we have, if we have, if equals 10, I less than 10, if let's say if I is equals to 5, if I is equals to 5, I'm gonna say break. If I equals to 5, break. Now what's gonna happen? Right now I increment doesn't happen at all. I plus equals 1. Right, then it goes up to 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and increase by 1, 5. 5 equals 5, then break, exits. Then if it is continued. Now, what will happen? Can someone tell me what's going to be the output without running this? What will be the output? What would be the output?
So it will omit 5 and print all the other numbers up to 10.
Are you sure? Why is this? Why? Because increment happens after the continuous statement. Initially, I equals 0. Then since if condition false, it's going to print I equals 0. And I get increased by 1. Then if condition false, then it prints 1. Then I increase by 1. Then 2. Then it prints I equals, if condition false, then it prints 2. Then I get increased by 1. Then 3. Then If condition false, then it print 3. Then I get increased by 1, 4. Then if condition is false, then it prints 4. Then I get increased by 1, 5. Then I equals 5. Yes, true, then continue. Again, I value is 5. It's not getting increased. Therefore, this is running continuously. Then the loop is running continuously because I equals 5 and it cannot continue because the increment happens afterwards. Therefore, if you really want to test this, you should have put this here. Then without 5, it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that's how the continue statement works. Therefore, remember, when you hit the continue statement, it will stop the current iteration and it will continue with the next iteration. And also with the while loop, like if conditions, if you want, you could put a else statement as well. Then loop is over, while loop is okay. Likewise, you can print a else part as well. When you hit the else statement, that means once the while loop condition become false, it will hit the else. Then once the condition is false, it will hit the else. Right. That's how you could deal with the while loop. Right. Any questions from now? You can use the while loop. You can ask. You can put while loops inside the while loop as well. Any questions using while loops? Please ask. You have to practice more because search for internet like while loop exercises and then try to do as much as you can because then only you'll be able to learn the logics. Any question? No questions? Right, then we'll wind up for today. Then next week we're going to talk about the for loops. Right, thank you very much.